coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
But I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
Welcome back to Long Walk Talks, the most inconsistent show on the Long Walk Podcast Network. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am joined today by my two co-hosts, Stan Wilson Lee.
I'm back.
And Chris Wilson Barnes.
I'm hoping if I sit real still, I don't really have to do this.
Of your two nicknames, Chris, because on This Is a Work, you're Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes, and on here, you're Chris Wilson Barnes. Which is the preferred nickname? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, that's at least a running joke. I don't know why you guys just decided I should be the Fashion Plate. I don't like it. And I know voicing that just makes it stick even harder with everyone.
Well, you know, Dogs is the one who dubbed you the Fashion Plate.
Now that everyone went along with it.
Oh yeah, he was the host.
Yeah.
Now that Robert is the host of This Is a Work, maybe Robert can come up with a different name for you.
Or not nickname me at all.
No, it's a thing. Everyone has to have a nickname.
I see.
Kara has a nickname. Well, after 4 months, we're back, and there were 7 months before that episode. We're on our most inconsistent streak ever. After several years of delivering at least one episode a month, sometimes two, but usually one, for 5 years, we have managed to only do 2 episodes, now 3, of Long Walk Talks this year. The ongoing theme since the last 3 years have been themed, was supposed to be controversial opinions. We were each going to have 4, and we were going to take turns discussing them. And clearly, if you've been paying attention to this network, that did not happen. We started off with mine.
There were mitigating circumstances. There was stuff that were going on. So.
It's been a busy year.
I feel like mine counted for 4.
Yeah, it might as well have. That was a hearty debate that we had with yours. So we started in January with my opinion that The Last Jedi was the second best Star Wars film, and Star Wars fans needed to stop crying about it. And then Chris came along with horror is a trash genre, which we had a hearty debate about.
Well, update, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is getting a sequel next year.
Of course it is. Yes. I still won't watch. Well, you know what? I might get drunk one night and watch it, but...
Double feature with Slaughterhouse.
I probably don't have to be drunk.
Yeah. And then, so Stan, it is now finally your turn to deliver your controversial opinion. And remember, when we started this year, you said, "No, I don't have any controversial opinions." And I said, "I think all you have are controversial opinions."
I don't, though.
So we've come back to disappoint when you needed us the most.
Right. So this is probably going to be a short discussion.
Because mine isn't controversial at all. It's just the statement that...
Sure, the internet is absolutely
the
quiet. The
Star Trek universe is way cooler than the Star Wars universe.
All right, so before we get too far into this, how many iterations of I could be playing Spider-Man right now am I allowed?
I'm going to say 3.
Okay. All right.
Hard 3. Okay, well, as a person who has never really watched any Star Trek outside of the 3 Abrams films, I've never watched the TV shows in any form or the other Star Trek films. It's hard. I can't really debate you on it. I mean, I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan. So Stan, in your opinion, and I remember I asked you, I told you you're going to have to back up this opinion.
I have a backup, and I actually have 2 backups, but
he has so many backups.
It's going to sound self-serving in any way I give it. But
this is going to be fantastic.
Let's start with the second backup.
Okay.
2 words. Nana Visitor.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
That's okay.
No, it's not okay. Please explain.
Nana's visitor the person that would come and visit your Nana, like whenever she was supposed to be watching
gentleman caller?
Yeah, her gentleman caller.
No, Nana Visitor plays Kira Nerys on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and could be the greatest show character of all time. And there's really no way like you said, you can't really argue with me, but I can't really argue the point of why, but she is.
Okay.
I don't know why you didn't just say DS9. That's usually, as someone who does not pay close attention, that's usually revered as like the best, the pinnacle of Star Trek programming.
And it is DS9 in the sense of that, but her specifically, Nana Visitor specifically, is what has made Deep Space Nine really important to me, because I had not watched Deep Space Nine until I started doing it. I've been running it the last month or so, maybe not even that. I'm into season 4, so they're starting their war with the Dominion. So, but anyway, the thing with Star Trek for me, the only thing that I can really say why it's better is that it's distinctly optimistic in its sense of what humans, specifically Earth humans, are capable of in greatness, the greatness they're capable of. And that if we do what we're supposed to do, and this started back in Gene Roddenberry's, the original creator of the original series, and but his point was that if we do what we're supposed to do as human beings, we can make the perfect, for lack of a better term, utopia. And not just on the planet, on Earth itself, but we can carry that off into the galaxy and into interstellar space as a whole. And he proved that by putting together the Federation, and the Federation being the united groupings of planets and species, i.e. Vulcans, Klingons, Romulans, who joined Ray late, but the idea that humans found a way to make first contact with alien species, and we've been talking about this lately, David, about if there were aliens coming and why
they would not,
and why there hasn't been first contact yet.
Okay, so let me expound upon that, because this is something we've talked about at work, my theory of why there have been so many reported alien visitations, but no first contact with aliens.
Right.
And my opinion is that every 3 to 5 years, an alien spacecraft comes to Earth just to scope out whether or not they would be welcome. And for the last 2 decades, every time they show up, something is fucked. More specifically, they could show up in 2016, and they're like, all right, is this going to be the year that we finally make contact with the humans? No, they just elected a nighttime television host who is a bankrupt business owner as president of...
And racist.
And misogynist.
A real estate carny, yeah.
A real estate carny as the highest position of authority in their nation. You know what? We'll come back in 5 years. So then they showed up in 2020, and then they were like, now there's a global pandemic, and that could have been...
A significant portion of people are denying it?
Yeah, and this could have been controlled. You know what? We'll come back in a few years.
People are actively refusing to take care of each other?
Yeah. So that is my opinion, and I'm sure if you track this back far enough, every 3 to 5 years, you can find another disaster of human history that has made the aliens go.
Well, the whole Roswell, and I'm about to watch the DS9 episode where Rom and Quark and Nog end up in 1940, I want to say 47 Roswell. And title of the show is Little Green Men, so it's like they end up time traveling and land on Earth, and at that time when they started Area 51.
Dave, those are called Ferengi.
Ferengi, because
I know that means nothing.
A Ferengi.
But I nodded, didn't I?
Ferengi, actually, the race of beings of aliens that represent what happens when when capitalism and greed has risen to be the ultimate point, and their race is totally based on profit and profit engineering, and it shows that is not what you want to strive for when you want to be
So what you're telling me is that no one who is currently in the government has ever watched Deep Space Nine.
I'm gonna throw it out there that the only person that's ever watched any good television
Not without wildly missing the point.
was Barack Obama, because he took West Wing, he took Star Trek ideology, he took all that stuff and actually applied it to the stuff. And it's like, if you're in government, you watch those shows once and you have, oh, that's what it is.
And yet we still don't have flying cars.
And yet we don't have flying cars.
Thanks, Obama.
But it's not his fault. If it was up to him, we would have.
It's his fault a little bit.
We would have flying cars.
I just wanted an excuse to say thanks, Obama. Just once on one of these podcasts.
But what I'm saying is that Gene Roddenberry saw the potential in humanity as being, we could be the stepping stone to interstellar communication if we chose to be better. But yet, since 1963, we have yet to choose to be better. But what Star Trek represents to me, and what Star Wars doesn't have quite yet, is that distinct, because there's so much bleakness in Star Wars still. And there is bleakness in the Star Trek stuff, but the idea that poverty, racism, sexism, all that has been taken out of the Earth elements. And so the idea that because Earth was able to do it, they are the seat of government for the Federation. So, and it literally shows what we could be if we could be better. And Star Wars has yet to get to that point yet. And I think, but I only believe that because Star Wars isn't necessarily an analogy to us as a community necessarily. It's possibly taken place before this reality, and so on and so forth. But
yes, a long time ago.
Yes.
In a galaxy.
Yes.
Far away.
So we may not even exist yet. So they may not have gotten to this point. And because has there been an Earth planet style in Star Wars yet? I don't think so. No.
And I think that's probably the point at which I would stop watching. If like at some point some future Star Wars character crash lands their spacecraft on a planet and they get out and it turns out to be Earth, I think I'm going to be done. But yeah, that is a very interesting point. The kind of optimism versus pessimism, because Star Wars is very much our conflicts are very cyclical in nature. We're always going to be an
Star
empire.
Wars is very much shit sucks, so go on an adventure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's very much like D&D or any hero's journey in that way, but there's always going to be an oppressive empire and always going to be a group of plucky rebels. And yeah, and I like your interpretation that...
that just has a lot to do with the inspiration of it, though.
Well, yeah, very much so. The Japanese influence on it.
And the old serials like Flash Gordon.
I got to say, Stan, I am impressed. I thought you were just going to go, Star Trek is better than Star Wars. Hard stop. That's my opinion. But I do agree with you to an extent. I still love Star Wars. But, you know, I feel like we were remiss in that we've already talked about him once. I know at least one other person who might agree with you, and that would be Robert Bradford.
Yeah.
We should have had Robert on this episode to help back you up in that regard.
There's, and I want to say definitely Bradford. So I won't bring up because I was going to say somebody, but I'm not sure if I'm thinking something else or not. So, but yeah, definitely Robert Bradford. He's very much in touch with the potential ideology of the Star Trek universe. And but unfortunately for Star Trek, they've had more time on television. The idea that they've had more time to serialize their
almost 60 years. Well, I think 60 years of Star Trek.
Where Star Wars has just started that.
Only 50 years. But
I mean, being on television and being able to take a long, continuous
serialized storytelling. Yeah.
Yes,
Someone is
that's
forgetting the
very
monumental effort that was the holiday special.
Somebody has made a monumental effort to forget the holiday special exists.
His name is George Lucas, yes.
Chris, what is your opinion on the debate? Do you have a preference between Star Trek and Star Wars?
I lean towards Star Wars because, I mean, I'm not hard into either, but I see Stan's point, and I will grant it. But I think Star Wars is ultimately a lot more interesting because, well, for one thing, in a meta sense, fans love the Star Wars universe so much that they basically filled in 80 to 90% of the lore on their own. Yep. Like that universe is something that was it wasn't just crafted by Lucas; it was also by the fans.
Before Disney bought Lucasfilm and threw it all out.
Yes,
yeah.
of course. Oh well, not before cherry picking the stuff they did like.
Well, yeah, you can thank Dave Filoni for that.
Yeah.
For looking at the old Star Wars legends and going, no, this is canon.
It's like you saw it heading to the dump. No. But no, I enjoy I see the appeal of Star Trek. I don't personally get into it. What I love about Star Wars is, again, like I said, it's like, shit sucks. Go have an adventure. It really is. It really does feel like it has more of a freewheeling spirit.
Now, Stan, does Star Trek have Ewoks?
Not necessarily Ewoks, but they have very similar types of creatures and stuff like that. A very similar array, like Star Wars does. Star Wars has a great, I don't even know what kind of gallery you would call it, but an alien gallery of
a bestiary.
A bestiary.
That's not what I said.
Bestiary. Is that better? Star Trek has kind of a similar, but again, a lot of the stuff is tailored towards television, and until recently,
Star Trek has tar monsters that kill Starfleet officers.
Exactly, it does, and energy creatures that kill.
They have so many energy creatures.
And in Star Trek, you have the whole. You could be a gold shirt, or you could be a red shirt, you don't want to be a red shirt. So it's like where Star Wars only has brown shirts.
Oh, hold up.
And white shirts.
Well, they've got stormtroopers. And most of their spacecraft pilots who are entirely disposable. To your point about 60 years worth of serialized television, I think that's what makes me so hesitant to try to get into Star Trek, because it's
an effort.
It is, and it's a lot like Doctor Who in that regard. In that people for the last decade have been trying to get me into Doctor Who, and I'm like, okay, but there is 60 years worth of Doctor Who, and
that's okay. The BBC got rid of a good bit of it.
And if you start with the 2005, the reboot of it, with David Tennant starting out, actually it'd be Christopher Eccleston was the newest of the news. They're only like 12
on the test.
They're like only 12 episodes in each, so it's basically just like an HBO series. So it's a lot less painful to get into Doctor Who stuff now. But if you start in the 1963 version of Doctor Who, you're going for like a half hour at a time for like 60 episodes.
And I'm good. I think I'll stick with my...
You're probably just thinking of the live action shows. There was, after the original series got canceled, they brought it back as an animated series and had everyone voice that, and they had more adventures.
Of course they did.
Yes, they did.
We should get a Doctor Who fan on here one day and debate with them about why Doctor Who sucks.
I'm sick.
See, I am a huge fan
good news.
of Doctor Who.
That episode starts now.
That episode can start now. It can be wrapped because a lot of the Doctor Who stuff is ideology, and that is part of the Star Trek ideology. They share a lot of.
Now, does he ever meet Dr. Ware?
Or Dr. Y? Or Dr. How?
Yes.
Doctor, just fuck off.
Things you can say to trigger a Doctor Who fan.
I just, my thought on that is kind of the same thing as like, that's not for me, and it looks neat, and I hope the people who love it enjoy it, but there's just a significant chunk of the fandom who is insufferable.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's all fandoms. That's wrestling fandom
It is,
too.
but noticeably, I mean,
We've never seen wrestling fans block the entrance of a convention
Yes.
getting their costume through the door.
Yeah.
That is
loudly drawing attention to themselves.
That is a real thing because Chris and I were at a comic convention once where we watched the line get backed up like out into the street because somebody was trying to get their Dalek costume through the door and their other Doctor Who fans were trying to help them, and it just created this enormous traffic jam. Anyway, Star Trek, Star Wars.
I will be on your guys' side in the sense that I'm not a huge fan of the fandom that surround, because I'm on the fence of Star Trek because of what it represents politically and socially and stuff like that. And in the case of most fandom, I don't think they're seeing it on that level. They're just seeing it as how they want their show to be. In the same sense with because I could not be in the same room with a ton of Doctor Who fans either. I couldn't be in the room. And I love the reboot of BSG, but I could not be in a room full of their fans at all. And I'm sure I couldn't be in a room full of Star Trek. No, that's a lie. I would love to go to a Star Trek convention. I've never been to a Star Trek convention, but I would love to see. I can't see that. I was gonna say I would love to see Leonard Nimoy walking around convention, but can't do that anymore.
Well, not without breaking some laws.
Yeah, it would be uncomfortable at best. But can we all agree that at least we live in a good time to be a fan of something with star in the title?
Very much so.
Yes. And the thing is, William Shatner's still alive. We almost got to meet William Shatner, so it's like
The Shatman.
The Shatman. And God bless Nichelle Nichols and all that. So
Yes.
it's just there's just a bunch of actors that played particular characters in the Star Trek oeuvre that are literally legends.
Oh, wow. Oh, and we also have to acknowledge Sir Patrick Stewart, who went from playing one of the most iconic roles on television to voicing Avery Bullock on American Dad, where they regularly write lines just to get Sir Patrick Stewart to say the most ridiculous things possible.
And he came back to do the new versions of Picard. And that's another reason why I like Star Trek stuff, is that their reboots, I think, are better than some of the Star Wars reboots. Like Strange New Worlds is going back to Christopher Pike and early Spock, and then we have Picard, which was a nice send-off and continuation and closure of Next Generation. And then there was Star Trek Discovery, which kind of set off the new stuff and putting it into a new generation and being very successful about it. I think, but again, I'm in the sense of being able to be on, broadcast television. I think they had the advantage of that in the beginning, as opposed to Star Wars having to figure out the way to take what were great stories for 2.5 hours on a big screen to getting them down to serialized format, and maybe having moments in the middle of the shows to where they have to experience the lag time, and slowdowns, and then come back at the end of the series to finish off strong, So.
Well, thank you for that controversial opinion and debate, Stan. I appreciate that. I feel like, let's just go ahead and do it now. We'll each come up with 3 more, and we'll just fill the rest of the episode with what would have been our opinions for this year. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to our audience or to the 2 of you. Instead,
you do it.
No, although I think I do have my 3 others written in my notes somewhere. But it is.
I don't wanna,
because I don't have any. I don't have anything.
No,
it's not that I don't. But I know. I'm sure I have some that will just stumble its way out. Like, I'm sure in later discussions, I'm gonna accidentally release a hot take that's just gonna turn the table against me.
I could say
just like one day you're coming over that table.
Battlestar Galactica reboot is better than the Doctor Who stuff. That probably caused a lot of damage.
I have no frame of reference in order to confirm or deny that.
Here we go. I'm just going to lob these grenades out there. We're not going to debate them at all. We're going to move on to our next topic. But my other opinions were going to be some franchises just need to die.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as an original idea.
That's correct.
And then finally, Sam Raimi is not a good director. That was going to be the hot one that I was probably going to get shit for. But
he
now,
is a director. You got to give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a man who's ridden the coattails of one good film for the last 30 years. Anyway.
Darkman's awesome, man.
Okay, maybe Darkman. Okay, so maybe he's ridden the coattails of two good films.
He also did Evil Dead 2.
That's the other good film I'm talking
What
about.
about the original Evil Dead?
The original Evil Dead is a cult classic, but it is if you view the movie objectively.
Army of Darkness.
I'll have that debate with you off the air.
Army of Darkness is fun. I don't know about good.
Right.
Well, we love a lot of directors that are fun, that may not be made, but we like their movies because they're fun. So.
Yeah, but those directors go on to do more fun things. Sam Raimi has not done a fun thing in 20 plus years. Anyway, so speaking of that, it's October. It's my
Drag Me to Hell.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck Drag Me to Hell. Fuck Sam Raimi for making that piece of shit hot garbage movie.
Multiverse of Madness.
No, I don't even care about that. I had so many fucking people. We're on this now. This is happening. I had so many people tell me, oh my God, David, you love horror movies. You need to watch Drag Me to Hell.
I
It's
was not one of
amazing.
them.
Drag Me to Hell is the perfect horror movie. You're going to watch it and you're going to love it. And then I watched it and I was mad at all of my fucking friends, legitimately mad. Like, what is wrong with all of you? How did you watch this and think this was a good film? Drag Me to Hell is straight garbage from beginning to end. It is on the short list of films that are just zeros out of 10 for me. There are some movies where even if I don't enjoy them, I can at least find some sort of value in them, or I can at least see why other people enjoy them, and I will never, in most regards, yuck somebody else's yum. But if you like Drag Me to Hell, if you were part of the crowd responsible for its success, you need to get kicked in the head by a horse. Anyway.
I'm waiting for my horse.
Oh, I remembered my other controversial opinion, which was the timing couldn't be better. It was that it has everything to do with directors only matter to me if a movie is good, then I'll generally trust them. But I decide that on a movie by movie basis. I don't care about a director's style in general. And my big linchpin was going to be name an animated movie that you really like. Just you throw one out if you want to.
Wall-E.
All right, who directed it?
Wasn't it the same guy who did Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol?
I have no
It's
idea.
Brad Bird, right?
Yeah, don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Brad
Couldn't
Bird.
tell you. Beauty and the Beast, who directed that?
It depends on which version we're watching.
The animated one from the early 90s.
Oh, not the porno. Okay.
God damn it. Who directed Aladdin? Who directed The Lion King? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
Walt Disney?
No, he's dead. No, I'm just saying, it's like, not that directors don't matter, but just that those movies are fantastic, and I'm glad they were directed the way they were, but again, it doesn't matter to me overall.
That's fair.
The director did their job because I don't know who they are, but that movie's amazing.
Well, yeah, it's common among directors to say if a show is good, it's because of the cast and the crew, or a movie. If a movie is good, it's because of the cast and the crew. If a show or a movie is bad, it's because of the director. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so again, like I said, it's October. It's my favorite month of the year. It's my wife's favorite month of the year. We love Halloween. Normally on this show...
This is new information to me.
Shut up. For the last 5 years, we've had some kind of Halloween-themed episode. And because we've all been so busy this year and we haven't gotten to do as many episodes as I would have liked to do, and since Stan's opinion only took 28 minutes...
29.
29, close enough. By the time I add in the theme music,
And we really
sure.
padded out that opinion.
We really did, and then I had to go and rant about fucking Drag Me to Hell. So we're gonna
Love it.
We're
You
gonna
did that to
wrap.
yourself,
I
buddy.
know. We're gonna wrap this year's Halloween episode into this episode. And we are going to be discussing how long we think we would last, or if we would last at all, against a selection of famous horror movie villains.
This is going to be on a scale for me of like dead to really dead, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, there's a point on this list where I'm just going to be like, dead. I wouldn't make it. But we're going to start with Ghostface from the Scream franchise. Regular human being. There have been 10 Ghostfaces now. No superpowers, nothing mystical about them, just people in a mask with a knife. Chris, how long do you think you would last going up against Ghostface?
Where am I?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if I'm in my apartment, you've been in my apartment, I've got the only exit covered. I feel like I'm pretty good.
Most of the Ghostface kills, at least the ones that start the movie, take place in somebody's home.
Right, but if it's in mine, I feel like I have I feel like I have an actual advantage.
Right.
Because I've got an apartment that only has one entrance/exit, and if they aren't already inside, then
And you're on the second floor.
yes, I am. Yeah, there's a whole lot of factors there where it's like I feel like I've got a chance. I feel like location has a lot to do because the Ghostface killers do their research of where they're going in, and they've stalked around the house. They've figured out entrances and exits. They clearly have. I mean, okay, not all the time, but they usually, like, aside from like one or two, they usually have a way of like already having been in and out of the house and
They're usually friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they have found a way to have access to the entrances and exits.
So you're going to make it a while? Do you think you're ultimately getting away, or they will get you?
I think eventually they're going to get me. I might get some good hits in because, but it's just, if it's an endurance thing, I feel like they're going to wear me down if it's in like a more open location.
Well, did you know the answers to the horror movie questions?
Oh, we both know that I do not.
And then you might.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to fail on the what's your favorite scary movie question.
No, I'll say Clue, and they'll be like, Clue.
Stan, how long are you lasting against Ghostface, and are you going all the way? Are you surviving?
Is it a team of ghost faces?
Yeah, I did not expect the two of you to ask follow-up questions. No, it is one singular Ghostface.
Okay, so it's not the partners.
I mean, I'm not going.
Well, the other Ghostface is,
doing somebody else.
they're killing somebody else, or they're like providing an alibi. Yeah.
Have I passed the scary movie test?
Probably, knowing you, yeah. If they threw a bunch of horror movie trivia at you.
Actually, I'll go one better. Ghostface at some point cuts you off because you have not stopped answering a question.
Yeah, you get into semantics with Ghostface.
You've gone off onto two different movies. Like you've sidestepped.
So I guess I survived then.
Stop talking about sleepaway camp is a phrase you're going to hear.
Yeah, it's either he gives up and like just leaves you alone out of annoyance, or he cuts the game and the whole stalking and scaring thing short and just walks up and stabs you to make you stop.
Am I? Do I know enough of lore to be able to predict?
Are you asking
Ghostface?
if you've watched the other Scream films?
Yes.
Do you know the rules?
Do I know the rules?
No. You don't know. You are just a person who is being stalked by a ghost face.
Then in that case, I might be able to do enough, kick him in the face a couple times. But if I don't know the game, if the world doesn't exist in my world already, and I've already answered the phone and said I know who this is, goodbye. It's like then yeah, I'm probably gonna die pretty quickly, but they'll probably have a lot of fun doing their torture stuff on me. So
for me personally, if I go up against Ghostface, I think I'm going all the way with this one. Unless they ambush me and slit my throat from behind. If I get a chance to tussle with Ghostface, I think I'm coming out on top.
I think so too. Mostly because if you're at your house, you've got your gun.
you got your gun.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! If they make the mistake of attacking me in my home, I own 2 guns, multiple swords,
And a dog that knows when anything moves anywhere near your house.
Yes.
But because your ghost face is going to be like either me or Chris, we
No.
already know that.
No.
So,
Absolutely not. I don't know what he's talking about.
but the thing is,
Are
that's
you
the thing.
and Chris going to?
But that's the
I
thing.
am not.
That's the thing, though, is ghost face killers know the people they're killing.
Yeah, that's true. It's always somebody that's directly involved.
It's in the friends circle, or they have
in the friend zone.
they are partners that have been brought into the friend zone. You know, i.e. The Scream 5, where
Yeah.
he brings in Richie into the group, and
Or apparently it's a family tradition.
oh, did I just
That's
did I
sick.
just give away a
Yeah,
killer?
you just kind of gave away spoiled. But you know, the
Doesn't
movie's been out
matter.
for over a
It
year.
Doesn't matter.
All right,
matters.
so we're going to go on to our next one. Again, a human killer. We haven't gotten into the mystical yet, or the supernatural. You have been abducted and placed into a death trap by Jigsaw. We're going to start with Stan this time. How would you make it all the way through the game and survive, and why are you there? And I ask that because throughout the Saw franchise, all 10 of them,
Sorry.
there have been victims that had a good, like a legitimate reason to be there, like murderers and rapists. But then there are a few victims in the movies that are there for entirely like pedantic, petty reasons. So why has Jigsaw placed you in the trap, and are you?
But
gonna make it out?
if they're there for pedantic reasons, it's not what's his face that got them, right? It's not
It's Jigsaw. It's not Amanda or Hoffman.
No. But if it's not good reasons, it's not Jigsaw, right?
Well, Jigsaw put he abducted an insurance team who were doing their job, which, you know, it was a shitty job, but probably didn't deserve to die for it. It was the Saw 6 is kind of petty.
Yeah, targeting them instead of like, I don't know, upper management is like a shitty move.
Right. And literally one guy was abducted and put through a test because he took too many days off work. Like he lied too much about being sick. So there are a lot of petty reasons
But
people ended up in
if he
traps.
lied for being sick,
Stan, just go along with the prompt
But see
and stop.
that, but that's what I'm saying. It's like
Why
would I be there?
I don't know. You tell me. What did you do to get put in a Jigsaw trap? I'm about to fucking skip you. You were put into... Okay, you've been abducted and put into a Jigsaw trap because you
I
asked too
watched
many
too much
fucking
porn.
questions. You asked too many questions.
About porn.
And John Kramer got sick of it. You have to answer... Okay, your
You
Jigsaw
took too
trap...
long in front of him at some place.
Yes. So you are in a trap that is going to rip off your jaw, your lower jaw, and your tongue if you can't provide a straight answer to a question. Are you surviving?
Yes.
I do. Well, fine. Your rules lawyered me right there at the end. Well played. Chris, why are you in Jigsaw's trap, and are you making it out?
I presume it would be because I refused a return at the store.
It was past the
yeah. And I was like, I can't do it. It's policy. And then I woke up in a trap.
And are you making it?
It's a coin flip, I think, because it's like if it's me by myself and depending on the rules, I feel like I have a chance.
But if you're forced into a group project,
Oh God, I feel like that's where everything falls apart because I'm definitely one of those people who's like we need to work together, and then there's someone screaming about I got to get out of here.
yeah. All right. As for me, probably I am in Jigsaw's trap because I'm a smoker, and so he's going to force me to like run on a treadmill
You
or
don't
hold
value
my
your own
breath.
life.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to force me into some kind of ridiculous endurance test, and I'm probably going to fail. If it's something else, or like I'm in a break a limb to survive kind of situation, I've watched enough of these movies. I know enough about how this works. If I just have to like break a hand or an arm, and I get to live, then I might do it.
Maybe, yeah.
Or it might just be like the millennial saw victim thing. If you've ever seen the videos of millennial saw victims where they're like, you know what? Fuck it, just do it.
Look, I mean,
I don't
when
give a shit.
when I hear
Kill
the
me.
explanation of why I'm in the trap, that may determine if I gather enough spite within me to be like, fuck you, I'm here for that reason. I will survive.
All right, so now we're gonna keep it human. We're gonna go with Michael Myers.
Dead.
And this is the original stalking babysitters Michael Myers. This is not supernatural. He gets stronger the more he kills Michael Myers in the later films. Just straight up Michael Myers. Chris, you're dead.
Dead. I'm dead. I just again because it's like the idea of like he's stalking me. Like there's no place I know of near, depending if it's just my place. There's no place I know of near enough that I can get to be in a safe spot.
And plus, you just trip and fall down constantly.
I do not.
Like
Thank you.
every goddamn day, it's picking you up off the ground. He would catch up to you.
This is hurtful, and I don't know where it's coming from. But no, I mean, just the idea. Is like I would honestly just I would just get what I could and just get walking, like get moving, because I don't have a car. That's the other problem here. Like if I was like I don't have like a chance of getting into something that could put distance between me and him quickly.
You're going to trip tonight, and you're going to think about that.
I'm going to think about how I'm going to call you, and I'm going to be angry.
Stan, you're facing off against Michael Myers in Halloween 1 or 2. Are you surviving?
Why am I in Haddonfield?
Oh, my God. For fuck's sake.
No.
You cannot defeat it with questions.
It's Michael Myers. It's like, of course, if he wants you dead, you're dead.
I mean, because just to follow up, he got at the end of the movie, he gets shot and out of a window,
Right.
Shot and sent out of a window, and there's like a few minutes where they look away and he's gone.
Right.
The only person that he's not relentless with is, I mean, he's relentless, but he keeps going. But the only person that he can't really commit to destroying is Laurie. So.
Oh, no, he is absolutely out to destroy Laurie.
He's
That's
out
the plot of the first two films.
But there's the idea that when he gets to that point of being able, everybody else, he just like kill. There's always something that, even if it's a slight hesitation, it's just enough to make him stop for a moment. It's like, wait, this person is almost a match for me, and enough time to give her a final girl moment. So it's like.
But you're not Laurie Strode, so you're dying?
I'm not Laurie Strode, so I think I don't really have a chance if he's determined to get to Laurie through me. I'm pretty much,
He'll do that literally, yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting cocky, but I think this is probably the last one where I can say, you know what, I think I got this. Again.
Conceivably, I feel like you've got the best chance to get away.
Yeah. Smoker's lungs are not. I could keep ahead of him. Because all he ever did was fucking walk everywhere. You never see Michael Myers run.
And on top of that, I know you're also a smart. You're also the kind of person who's not like I'm going to engage him.
Right. And also, I know how to set traps. Stan, you look like you have more to say.
Well, I'm just saying.
Anyway, we're gonna go on, and we're gonna start getting into the supernatural with this one. Our next one, Jason Voorhees. We're talking. Like classic, the one that everyone remembers, straight up zombie Jason Voorhees. Chris, you making it?
If I can fucking get out of Crystal Lake, yeah. If I can just get out of the area.
You know what? Yeah, I feel like this might actually be the easiest one. All you have to do is escape a general area.
Because he stalks a general area. It's far and few between the times where he gets pulled out of his normal environment.
Except for that time he took Manhattan.
And went to space.
Yes.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about space.
He did. Everyone would like
actually, he was taken 400 years before and then ended up in space. So.
Well, and then in Freddy vs. Jason, he ends up in
hell, yeah.
Well, no, he ends up in Springfield, Spring Lake, whatever.
That's like one of the few times because he ends up in a teen's cornfield party and just starts killing people and screwing. But it's just like, again, you get out of that area, he doesn't care. He just wants to kill the people immediately near him.
I should have put this one higher on the list now that I'm thinking about it. Stan, what do you think?
But the thing is like, I agree with both of you if you get out of Crystal Lake. But the thing is, at the beginning of 3, he's actually leaving and going to this convenience store and kills the couple that owns the convenience store to
Yeah,
get
that's
his
right.
I mean, if he's
clothing.
locked on
So-
you, he will come after you and he can teleport.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be going after Ginny, who he wasn't able to fully kill at the end of 2, but because she, what's her face, didn't come back for the, so he was on his way to the hospital to kill Ginny. So he's like he's able to leave.
All right. Well, while you've been
But-
debating this with
but-
him, he has stabbed you.
several times.
The thing
But
about it is,
thing
I think if I know, like, if I'm aware of what Jason is, I will also keep my head on a swivel.
right, and the thing is, again, do we know about Camp Crystal Lake, and do we know the lore? So it's like, why would I continue being in a group of teens that keep going to this stupid fucking camp that you know you're not coming back from if you go to it?
Because this one girl that you really like is a counselor there this summer,
And she's hinting that if things go well, you're gonna do it.
You're gonna
you're gonna
do it, but
do
the
an
thing
over the
is-
pants hands dance.
But the thing is, I've already dealt with that kind of stuff, so I choose not to go.
All right, so you're dying.
So you're saying you're better than Kevin Bacon?
Yes.
I'm going to give myself a 50-50 on this one if I can get out of Crystal Lake, like you said.
Yeah.
But if I'm one of those counselors, which I've never even actually been to a camp, much less would want to be a counselor. But I'd probably be one of the adjacent idiots who just gets killed because by virtue of the fact that I'm nearby.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna.
I feel like you specifically would be trying to get people to think straight, but that you would end up dying because someone does something incredibly stupid.
Probably.
Like go into the barn.
Yeah, or go off by themselves.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep it supernatural. Chucky from Child's Play. Chris?
That's tricky because I feel like I could have a chance to somehow restrain him, or if there's a way to get his limbs off, do that. But the problem is he's like a living voodoo doll
Basically.
that doesn't have human needs. So
No.
I would tire out. He wouldn't, and he seems to have like full man strength.
Yeah.
He's a demon.
So you're dying?
I feel like that's a coin toss. That's a legit coin toss. Whether I could get some kind of advantage to get him, like some way restrained and like out of my separate body parts. Do anything I can to limit his ability to move.
Stan, are you surviving or are you dying to Chucky?
Again, it depends on if I'm a friend with Andy or a friend of whoever has the Chucky doll, or a parent or whatever. But because if I'm not around for the need for a Chucky doll, then I don't have to worry about being in that situation in the first place, right? But if I am, first of all, I have to be that person that believes the kid when he comes up to me and says, "I think my Chucky is alive," other than being that person that says, "You need to go to a doctor. You need to have a shrink," which is the basis of the first 2 movies. So,
But Chucky, the doll, is actively trying to murder you specifically.
He's picked
Stan,
me. He's picked me.
The person who does podcasts.
But the thing is,
Oh my God.
I have to say, Chucky is one of my favorites of all time. So it's like maybe I could convince Chucky that he's one of
You
my favorites.
cannot convince Chucky.
It's like, possess me.
Stan, he is going
but
to lie to you?
Chucky, of course, would kill me. Of course he would.
See, I got this. I got this one in the bag. He's a fucking doll.
He's an ugly doll.
I'm gonna lure him.
Fucking ugly doll.
I'm going to lure him into a cardboard box. I'm going to cover that cardboard box in concrete. I'm going to take it out on the ocean, and I'm going to bury him at the bottom of the ocean. And there will be no more Chucky.
See, these are thoughts that can only happen when you're on the outside of the
Possibly.
situation, because if you're in that situation, all those thoughts are going to zoom out of your head. You're not going to think them. You're going to just
So,
say, oh shit, a
I'm
doll
gonna
is trying to kill me.
I'm gonna say this just because it's like so. He can potentially get the advantage on you. Have you ever tried to finagle a toddler into doing anything? That's the kind of thing you're fighting. Like, you are stronger. They are slippery.
And
Okay,
he's
but
an
you know-
adult killer man.
Okay, but
So-
you know what Chucky and toddlers have in common? They're both infinitely puntable.
They are, yes. That's why I said coin flip, because I don't know if I could get some sort of like quick advantage. I could
You have
I
to
could
get the
pounce on
advantage,
it.
yeah.
Yes,
Shelby, if you're listening to this, I apologize. I would never punt your child.
you've got time. She's not a toddler yet.
Yeah. All right. All right. We're moving on to a bigger scale. We're going on cosmic hell scale here. Pinhead. Chris, living or dying?
I hope he kills me.
Did we?
The alternative is far worse.
We skipped one, didn't we?
What?
Oh, wait.
I rearranged some things.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved Chucky farther down the list. Stan, Pinhead. You found the puzzle box.
And I've
you
done it.
solved it.
I guess I'm an awful person, so yeah, he's gonna love taking me to hell and playing the games. But then on the other hand, I may not be totally against playing the game. So
this one might work out for you.
it might work out. I might end up being one of Pinhead's.
A Cenobite.
A Cenobite, yeah.
I might end up being a Cenobite, or I might be one of his Earth.
Angels.
Thralls.
Yeah, thralls. Thralls is what I was looking for. So
Oh, like luring other people
Yeah.
to solve. Yeah, I can see that. I can 100% see you doing that. Like Chris said, best case scenario, he just straight up murders me. I'm not going to fight back. There's no situation in which I win this. All right.
I could see Pinhead going, well, if you're into it, it's not as fun for me.
I know,
Right.
that's what
Like,
I'm saying.
again, he gets bored with you and is just like, oh, Christ, you know what? Fuck this. All right. So now for the last one, we're going from cosmic hellscape to like apocalyptic zombies. Chris, are you surviving in a zombie apocalypse?
On my own, I don't see a high chance. With a group, it gets bigger, but it really depends on on the support system that we form. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but prospects are dim.
Prospects are dead.
Fair. Stan, zombie apocalypse. Are you surviving? You and Heidi, your little 5-pound
Had
dog.
we not talked about this one particular thing about zombies earlier in the week, I would have said my chances were higher than they are. But then I realized zombies aren't necessarily just slow and you can just run away from them. The fact that they can be slow because the second you realize you have zombies coming after you, you get petrified with fear. So that's why people that are being attacked by zombies, and this I've come to this realization quite late. And it's like, because I've always wondered why the slow zombies can get their victims when they can just run, right? But the thing is, if you see a zombie, like I was saying about the situation of, being able to get your stuff, it's all going to go out of your head because you're totally petrified in fear. So that's why they're able to get you. And so knowing that, I'm in Chris's area now, where it's, if we're in a group and we're always have a buddy or two buddies, and somebody's got their eyes on your back and stuff, and it's like maybe we can go a little while. But I think if it's a true apocalypse and they've done what they needed to do, they've pretty much got the world by the balls. So it's like, we'll eventually die. But the thing is, alone, Heidi would probably survive longer than I would.
By eating you.
Here's the thing. I don't want to die, but at the same time, I have a better chance of surviving if I'm doing it to help others around me than I am on my own.
Fair. I see this one going either way. Like me versus a zombie, I got this one.
Yeah, sure.
Me versus several zombies, 50-50. Me versus a horde of zombies, I'm going down.
Save a bullet.
Yeah. Now, if we have a small community of survivors that we form and make like our own compound of 15 to 20 people, I'm going to make it out.
I feel it, yeah.
If zombie movies have taught me anything, it's that once you start getting bigger and you try to form a new society and a new group, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and it's not going to be to the zombies.
That's because everybody has ideas about how the world should work.
Yeah, exactly. So that one, the zombie apocalypse, I think is a crapshoot, in my opinion, for me personally.
If it's at apocalypse moment, it's pretty much done. So as long as it's just zombie invasion and you're surviving, you have yet to reach apocalypse mode. So it's like, because if somehow there are survivors and those survivors continue, and then the zombies just like die themselves out or just peter out in some way, you can start the society over again. But if the apocalypse actually happens and the zombies have overrun, it's
you might as well just
you're just hanging out.
Punch your
now.
own ticket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before we wrap up, bonus category: Zombievers.
Yes.
Chris, how long you lasting against Zombievers from the cinematic classic Zombievers?
Well, if we're being pursued, I'm tripping you.
Go for it. Zombievers, much like dolls and toddlers, are puntable.
But they're so cute.
I'll be fine because I'm not appearing in this film.
Aw. Stan, you versus Zombievers.
Zombievers is one of the greatest movies ever made. It might be in the top 5.
Jesus
so it's
Christ.
like, just to let you know, it's like Dave and I will agree that
These
this
men are lying
is
to
a
you?
ton better than Drag Me to Hell. Zombievers is a great movie. So.
And it's a lot better than Slaughterhouse, too.
Which I haven't
Don't
seen yet.
believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. But Zombievers, there's a point where it's like if beavers and otters, if they become zombies, I'm probably just going to let myself be eaten by them.
You're just going to wade into the water and let them take
I won't
you.
want them just to bite me so I come back as a zombie.
You're leaving out something important. They're not just zombievers. You also then get bit and they could mutate.
That's
Yes,
what,
and their victims turn into other zombievers.
that's what I'm saying. It's like they have to kill me.
Human beaver hybrids. It's awesome to behold.
Hugh Beaver.
Yes.
Huver.
I think
Beeman.
I might be getting too cocky or think too highly of myself. I think I'm going all the way with this one.
Well, yeah,
Those
because
Zombievers don't stand a chance.
See, I'd be
in a
laughing
universe
so
where
hard.
you're gonna die if it's really, really funny to make it happen. So,
I'd be
But,
laughing
yeah.
so hard that I would not be able to move. So it's like they got me. So whatever.
You just see me near a dam with a wiffle ball bat, just whacking the shit out of them.
And I'm cracking up.
A zombiever falls from the sky and hits Stan and bites his neck, and that's it.
Then it's Stan Beaver.
All right. Well, that wraps up our controversial opinions for this year and also our October Halloween discussion. Now that our lives are a little bit less chaotic, I am neither directing nor in a show for the rest of the year. And I think we should be good to go to get 2 more out for a total of 5 episodes in the year 2023. Next month in November, we are going to finish the year out with a discussion about video games and what we've been playing
finally.
recently and recommendations. And then in December, we're going to finish out the year with a retrospective about COVID and post-COVID media. How have things changed over the last 3 years? Because it's weird to think that it's been 3.5 years since the pandemic started. And I really want to talk about what's changed.
really know how to pick the upbeat holiday topics.
Well, yeah, we're sending us out on a deeper discussion than we normally have. But
Well, at least we don't have to do some stupid reindeer show.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Now, Dave,
I didn't say that there wasn't going to be a Christmas special.
I'll be in
Do-
Vegas.
do you need options? Because I have options.
I know you do. Although, to be perfectly honest with you, the last one that we watched broke me. There's a
It won't
reason.
be. It won't be like that.
We didn't do one last year, did we?
I thought wasn't Nestor last year? Or was that the year before?
I think Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because
guess.
I wasn't here for Nestor. Was I here for
You
Nestor?
were here for Nestor.
I wasn't here for.
No, hey, you didn't do the podcast though, did he?
I don't remember. I whatever it was, I blocked it out. I think
Yeah.
Nestor is the one that broke me. We might do a holiday episode, but I might be traveling for the holiday, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't
I'm
want to
traveling for the holidays.
No, you're not. You
I
don't
am.
travel anywhere. All right. Well, it's nice to be back here at the tail end of 2023. Thank you guys for joining me for this discussion and indulging in the insanity of it. Stan, you ask entirely too many questions, but we love you anyway.
I'm a question answerer. ask her.
are. Chris, if people want to follow you online or reach out to you online at some place that isn't Twitter, because I refuse to promote Twitter,
X.
and I refuse to call it X, where can people do that at?
Oh, didn't know actually.
Oh, perfect. You're still on that nightmarish hellscape of a platform,
I
aren't you?
am. There are a few accounts that still make it worth it. Now, if he eventually does start charging people, have you heard about the?
Yes. Yeah.
So technically, that's for new accounts only. I don't even know when it's going into effect. But if that does go into effect, like site wide, then I'm done. So I'm not paying to do
You
this.
and half of Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
Stan, nope, you're not online. No one's you're not on Instagram.
I'm barely alive.
You're not on. You're barely on Facebook. You're much less on Instagram
none
or
of the
Twitter.
none of the
I take it
social
back. I
bullshit
feel like
program.
Stan would escape the jigsaw puzzle by depressing him further.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right.
I would
well,
finish him off.
If you want to follow me online, the best place to do that is on Instagram at dbhensley. If you want to keep up with Long Walk Productions, you can visit us online at longwalk.us. To see more of our original work or hear past episodes that are no longer streaming, you can follow the YouTube links in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening, and if you enjoy this show or any of the shows on the Long Walk Podcast Network, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
Nana visitor.
Now then, back to Spider-Man. Twit.
Zombievers.